development permit and has raised concerns from residents, including the alleged felling of about 50 trees, demolition of structures, encroachment on playgrounds and greenbelt, and the obstruction of access route. TDC, however, disputes the Assembly's position, insisting that the project has gone through the necessary review and approval and that the TMA's intervention could undermine the implementation of government's projects. The disagreement has heightened tension between the two state institutions, prompting the president to summon the parties to explain their position and seek a resolution. The meeting is expected to clarify the ongoing issues, and we are still following that. We'll bring you more details after the meeting today at 11 a.m. Now, the trial of the former Cybersecurity Authority Director General Aidoo and wife, and also is expected to continue today with the defense lawyer resuming cross-examination of the prosecuting fourth and final witness. Meanwhile, the Accra High Court is also expected to determine whether the trial of the former National Buffer Stock Company CEO Hanan Abdul Wahab can proceed, with his application for stay of proceedings remain pending at the Court of Appeal. There's more in this report filed by court correspondent Mamiaba Brew.
Samuel Atachian, lead counsel for former National Signals Bureau Director General Aidoo and his wife Angela Ajay-Boateng, is expected to continue his cross-examination of the prosecution's fourth and final witness, Frank Cromwell Marshall, at the Accra High Court today. The court, presided over by Justice Francis Achibonga at the last adjourned date, warned the accused persons that if their lawyers fail to show up today, they will have to conduct the cross-examinations themselves, after which he will discharge the witness. The prosecution, led by Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Shremsai, is expected to close its case this week if the defense lawyers conclude their cross-examination of the last witness. Aidoo and his wife, Angela Ajay-Boateng, are facing 11 charges, including stealing and causing financial loss to the state. In the case of the former Chief Executive Officer of the National Buffer Stock Company Limited, Hanan Abdul Wahab, the court is expected to take arguments from the parties as to why an application for stay of proceedings filed at the Court of Appeal should or should not affect the trial at the High Court. The court on July 23 dismissed an application filed by lawyers for Hanan Abdul Wahab, which urged it to strike out the charges for being defective. The court held that the charges, except two, contained enough information to inform the accused persons about the offences he is alleged to have committed. Not satisfied with the decision of the High Court, his lawyer, Godfred Yeboadame, filed an application against the decision at the Court of Appeal. He subsequently filed an application for stay of proceedings at the Court of Appeal pending the determination of the appeal, while the defense argues that the trial cannot proceed while the application for stay of proceedings is pending at the Court of Appeal. The prosecution takes a different view, that the application at the Court of Appeal does not operate as an automatic stay of proceedings. The court will take arguments from both sides today, and the outcome of the court's decision will determine whether the trial will commence today or not. Hanan Abdul Wahab and his wife Faiza Seydou are facing charges including stealing and defrauding by false pretense.
That's a report filed by our court correspondent Mamia Babru on issues that will be happening in court today. Now, Ghana Gold Board is facing what Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams described as opposition from a very powerful movement made up of individuals with strong interest in gold trade. The founder and general overseer of Action Chapel International says the group comprises powerful and well-established individuals who understand the gold trade and resist an effort to regulate the sector and enforce the law. Speaking during a church service, Archbishop Duncan Williams said some individuals who previously accessed gold through illegal channels are now seeking avenues to purchase the commodity through Gold Board. He expressed concern that Ghana's failure to effectively enforce its laws, particularly in the fight against illegal mining, could have serious consequences for the country.
Miners is like a cartel, a very powerful force to reckon with, and Many years ago, I was somewhere in the Middle East. I won't mention the exact country, and I have the privilege of meeting some very powerful people from the family, the ruling family. And whilst talking, it came out that a lot of gold, illegal gold, had come into their country, and they had registered it, registered it, and that the illegal gold that they received was more than all the legal gold that Ghana was able to register. But the illegal ones was even more than what the Ghana government then sold to them. And the Ghana government had no trace or idea of this illegal gold. It was so much money. And after some years, when the gold board was set up,
thus, the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan William will bring you the full sound subsequently. Now, Ghana's emergency response capacity is set to receive a boost with 30 ambulances handed over to the National Security for refurbishment and possible deployment. The vehicles were handed over by the Ministry of Health in collaboration with the National Ambulance Service and are currently stationed at the Ghana Air Force Base at Burma Camp in Accra. The ambulances will undergo technical assessment and refurbishment to determine their roadworthiness and the extent of work required before they can be deployed. The National Ambulance Service says the handover followed legal clearance from the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice, authorizing the Health Ministry to retrieve and assess the vehicles for possible operational use. An initial assessment has already been conducted by the State Transport Company STC, with further technical checks expected. The Ministry of Health says the move forms part of efforts to recover and restore available public assets to strengthen the operational capacity of the National Ambulance Service. One refurbished and certified, the ambulances are expected to augment the national emergency fleet and improve access to timely pre-hospital care and emergency transportation. The National Security will oversee the refurbishment process before the vehicles undergo the required technical and roadworthiness assessment for deployment. To some African news, Moroccan authorities have stopped more than 100 migrants trying to reach the Spanish territory in North Africa. The migrants were intercepted close to the border, and most were from Saharan Africa. Police reportedly used tear gas to disperse groups gathered on the hills. The move comes 2 weeks after a mass attempt to enter Spain when about 78,000 migrants reportedly arrived. Morocco has since increased security in the area and warned that people organizing or joining another mass crossing could face prosecution. We'll bring you more details on that story. For now, this ends the Class Breakfast News right here on Class 91.3 FM. For more news and updates, do log on to classfmonline.com. The morning show continues with Kwame Jumo Ajiman and the team. Do stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. I am Elizabeth Aidoo. Have a good morning.
This is the Class Breakfast News.
Class News is expanding its frontiers as it can